So, next movie that we're talking about.
Arabian Nights. I love this movie so much.
It's a good one.
Aladdin's a good movie.
It's so great.
Honestly, though, not my favorite Disney movie.
Oh, not my favorite Disney movie, but I definitely love this movie.
Yeah.
I think I was forced to watch it too many times because it was my sister's favorite movie. So there was like a couple years there where I was like, no, I don't like the Aladdin. And then I watched it again.
Hot, so I can understand why she would want to watch it so much.
He was very attractive.
A lot of feelings.
For a guy with no nipples.
And what's great is this one's much easier to separate between the animated and the live action.
It is. I actually never saw the live action.
The live action's actually really good. Have you seen like the Broadway Aladdin?
No.
It's still really good. I've seen both. People are really judgmental because, Robin Williams couldn't play his character.
Well, yeah, but, that's understandable.
Yeah.
And
they did really well giving Will Smith the character, letting him make it his own.
Yeah. So that's what I've heard, actually.
I would say that the live action is okay.
Yeah.
Like, if it existed as an independent movie. If the animated version did not exist, yeah, it's a great movie. But unfortunately, it lacks the charisma, I think, as the animated one carries. Especially, not only just for Robin Williams, but just...
That's fair.
I don't know. Something about seeing it in live action, it was just less magical.
Well, no, that's completely fair. I do, however, like how they did the actual magic, though, in this one. Because while they can't go all out like they could in the animated, just because you have limitations, they did do a really good job of how they made the magic look in the movie.
Yeah. And I can also say that, because I watched it when I was flying back from Illinois, so it was my on-flight movie. I was like, okay, why not?
Nice.
I wasn't going to pay to see it.
Fair enough.
It's basically the animated film, just like verbatim almost.
Yeah, they just add a couple things in there, change a couple things.
Yeah, so it's not any different. So obviously, if you're a fan of the animated, you're going to be a fan of the live action.
Precisely.
See, here's the thing for me, though, is I almost like that... Here's the thing for me, though, is I almost like that less. Because I'm like, if you're going to retell a story, like, add something.
Yeah.
Like, Beauty and the Beast was pretty loyal, but it made changes. The Beast is now a bookworm. They added some background. They fixed the plot holes. For sure. I'm great with that. I'm so excited for Mulan, because they're going to go more historical route.
So much in that movie, and I'm so excited.
I love that, because
it looks like Mushu's going to be a phoenix. And I'm excited.
Well, here's the thing. I love that they are retelling the story. That's the reason you do a remake, is to retell the story.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Otherwise, what's the point?
Just don't do...
Cash cow.
Just please, any movie writer, director, anyone listening to this podcast, do not do what M. Night Shyamalan did to
Avatar.
Oh my god, that was
when
unfortunate.
We say retelling a story, we mean... doing it well.
Yeah.
Don't change the titular character's name.
And also retelling the story in a way that makes sense. This makes sense because they're taking a more historically accurate approach. Precisely. That made sense because they were refilling the plot holes in this older movie that they made. Yeah. Avatar just made no sense.
I didn't watch it. I refused.
I was so excited. I watched it as a kid with my brother, and we were so excited. We went to go see it in theaters, and the theater was so packed that we sat on the floor to watch this movie.
Let down.
Yeah.
My brother and I heard how terrible this movie was. We rented it. And we literally just sat there making fun of everything that happened.
We thought it was going to be good.
They changed the character's name. His name is not Aang, it's Ong now.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Firebenders can't bend fire. They can only control fire from when it is around them.
And there's also Sokka.
It's Sokka, not Sokka.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and Sokka is lifeless with no personality. Fun story. He's played by the guy who played Jasper in Twilight.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. They had a very white cast for a couple of years.
That's the problem. That's why I didn't see it. Why
here's
are
the
they
thing.
white?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The girl that played Katara was apparently like the director's niece or something like that. Had some sort of connection to the director.
Which is a problem.
And so he felt like obligated to put her in the movie, which meant he then had to change Sokka's ethnicity because she was white. So then now he had to be white.
Yeah.
I didn't
So then
see
they
Aang as
decided-
Caucasian. I mean, his name is fucking Aang.
Well, Aang
He's-
they got Aang off of YouTube from this kid who was doing some really dope martial arts on YouTube, so they hired him as Aang.
Aang I was okay with, because he was very much, at least skin wise, he was very white in the show. He was not ethnically white.
There you go.
He was very much Asian.
Yeah.
But I
So
could see they were
the
pretty.
actor was still some sort of Asian. I just couldn't figure. He wasn't.
He was something.
Yeah.
But that's not the point too. They got someone who could play the character. And here's the thing too, if you look at the background, like the outtakes and like the background filming and whatever, this kid is very like Aang. He's very happy and energetic.
They
and
took that out of the movie.
They drained every last bit of life out of him in that movie.
Like,
and he
he's
could
not
do the motions, and it looked so great, and that's the reason they got him. And they just drained every bit of life out of him.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And it was horrible.
It's bad.
Sokka's not funny.
At all.
Aang is just like lifeless.
We should do Avatar on this series.
Okay, so Aladdin. Aladdin is set in an unknown year, and we'll talk about that in a second. Near the Jordan River.
Okay.
It is. So somewhere, I couldn't get like an exact city, but it's somewhere near the Jordan River in like the Middle East area-ish. And it is based on a story in 1001 Nights, which is not a story about Aladdin. It's a story about Scheherazade, who...
My wife got to play the live-action version.
I love
I love
Scheherazade.
that character still.
I love Scheherazade. So Scheherazade is the wife of a sultan who is horrible and kills all of his lovers after sleeping with them for one night. He kills them in the morning.
Oh, I remember this story.
And Scheherazade starts... Scheherazade. Sorry, I said that
You're
wrong.
putting an R in there.
I started calling her Charizard.
I was like, what? Scheherazade. First of all.
Scheherazade. Sorry about that. Scheherazade starts telling him a story, but gets to the climax and doesn't finish the story. So then he can't kill her because she isn't going to finish the story till the next night. And so that's how she survives 1,001 nights, is telling 1,001 stories to this king and only finishing the first story the next night, and then still having more time to tell the next story. And she's so clever and so amazingly brilliant. And Aladdin is one of the 1,001 stories that she tells.
He's literally a chapter in this book, my guys.
He is. So that is where that one is coming from.
Yep.
It was released in October 27th of 1992, so fairly recently. That's the year I was born.
I got Lion King in my ear, so I'm fine.
I got Jurassic Park, bitches.
And then going back to the year for this one too, it's actually very much debated because some people say that it is sometime in the distant past. Some people say it is a dystopian future because they look at the genie who is making all these references to modern day people and think that it is a future where society has collapsed and we have reverted back to past technology and sociology and all that fun stuff.
I've heard that one. I go back and forth between which one of those I believe, because I can also think it's distant past, but that the genie, while he is in his lamp, has basically can look into all timelines. Like, he can look into the future, look into the past. He's literally in that lamp for years.
Oh, I just assumed he heard everything inside the lamp.
Which means you would be a part of the ones who thinks it's a dystopian future where he just knows all the things that happened in the past.
Yeah,
I think because, he's a genie, the most powerful creature in this universe, that he could just look in the future and see all this stuff happening in all the times around him.
Yeah, and either one is plausible. Either one is also possibly people just thinking too much about it.
Well, that's fair.
That too. It is Disney. They did not handle this with the most tact or precision.
Yeah.
That is another thing I will mention is they did not handle this movie with the best cultural sensitivity.
It's Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way they never do.
Yes. So, but anyways, that is kind of people's thoughts on that, is that it is either way in the past or way in the future. One of the two. We don't know.
Yep. Let's hop into it. Who's first?
All right. So first of all, again, I will mention ages. Aladdin is 18, and we're starting with Aladdin because he's the titular character.
Perfect.
Jasmine is 15. Which isn't as bad an age range as it sounds. It's only about 3 years, but Jasmine just seems 15 seems young to me.
It is.
But like I said, that's 3 years. That's not like a bad amount of time to fall in
You also
love.
have to remember, culturally, that's not a problem.
To an extent, and because she's a royal.
In where this movie is taking place.
Because she's a royal, specifically.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something too. That's something a misconception that a lot of people have, is that young girls were getting married to old men everywhere in
Not
olden
everywhere.
times.
No. Not everywhere.
No, it was specifically royals. It was specifically
Yeah.
royalty selling their daughters off like cattle because they're horrible people.
They wanted those political connections to other lands, so they had to sell their daughters off to have allies in other countries.
Yeah, exactly. And that holds true for the Middle East, that holds true for Europe, that holds true for all these different places where they're like, oh, it was just a product.
Where there were multiple monarchies, this held true.
Yeah, and people go, oh, well, that was just a product of the time. All the young girls were marrying at that age. No, that's not true.
Royals.
That was specifically the royals. The modern people were mostly marrying at like normal ages. Yeah. Still fairly young.
Because if you're going to go with the time, this has happened in the past, people got married real young in the past.
Not as young as 15, though. They were getting married 16, 17, 18.
Okay, well, if you're going to say 16 is on the next level, that's literally 1 year later.
It is 1 year later, but 15 is still very young.
That is true. Even in America, like not even 80 years ago, people were getting married at like 16.
Yes.
And if they're going to call this distant past, this is going to go way before America was even a thing.
Yes. But at that time, the royals were getting married 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
And common modern people were 16, 17, 18, 19.
That's fair.
Which is still young.
Very troublesome that monarchs are that young and trying to rule countries and making terrible decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's the thing.
The princes they were marrying them off to weren't that young. It was mostly the princesses that were 15 getting married off to like 18, 19-year-old princes.
Oh, not 18, 19.
Well,
they were usually getting married off to
young.
getting married off to kings who were in their like 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it was really gross.
They wanted princesses who could give them princes to then take over their kingdom.
Yeah, as soon as they had their period, they were getting married off.
You're able to have a baby? Well, guess what, honey? You're about to go have a baby.
Time to go have a husband and have a child. And a lot of young girls died that way too in childbirth because their bodies were, yes, menstruating, but were not physically equipped to handle having a child yet. Mm-hmm. And then they were shocked that this wife was of poor breeding stock and obviously was not meant to bear children. No, you just got a 12-year-old pregnant. Anyways.
That took a dark turn for Aladdin. Let's get back to Aladdin.
Monarchies back in the day.
Yeah. Aladdin's 18, Jasmine's 15. It's not a big age difference. So
2 years.
Different thing. Aladdin, I felt like he was a very Slytherin.
A Slytherin?
Oh, 100%. He lied and cheated and manipulated his way into that castle from the get-go. He made himself a whole identity. He made himself a fucking parade. He was very showy.
The parade was not his idea.
It was Genie.
That was Genie. The parade was Genie. I will agree with you with everything else until that line. The parade was all Genie.
That's true. But still,
and he really only lied for the woman he loved.
No, he lied to get his way into the castle so he could be a prince.
So that he could marry the woman he loved.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, still.
Because
that doesn't mean he didn't lie.
Because he realized he could not marry her if he was not a prince.
Exactly. It wasn't like he wanted the riches, he wanted the attention. It was like, I just want her.
He also kind of wanted the riches. He was a thief.
Well, to be fair, he also gave half of his food to orphans on the street.
Right.
Slytherins
he wasn't
have
stealing
hearts.
money, he was stealing food.
Slytherins can have hearts.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I can actually agree with you him being a Slytherin. There are just specific little bits of information that need to go along with the lines that you said, because what you were saying is a little general. He lied his way to get him, and he lied his way into the castle because he understood that to marry the woman that he loved at this point, he had to be a prince. So yes, he was being very manipulative and lied to get what he needed. I agree. Very Slytherin tactics.
But Slytherins aren't only liars.
No, but they are very ambitious.
They're ambitious and they're manipulative.
And will get what they need no matter what way they need to, and no matter how they need to do it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. The motive isn't the necessarily the point that is making him a Slytherin, in my opinion. Because the motive is the same no matter what. He wants to marry Jasmine.
I feel like Gryffindor, he would have just walked in there. I want to marry her. I don't care if I'm a prince or not.
Exactly. He would have challenged someone to a duel. He would have cut off the Sultan's head or something. Okay,
if he was a Ravenclaw, he would have thought of a way, looked into the law and tried to find a loophole around actually being able to be with her.
Exactly.
If he was a Hufflepuff, some people may have died, or he would have just given up. There's no in between.
Yeah, he very much, he manipulated, he lied, he did whatever he needed to get what he wanted. And he didn't just lie to the people around him, he lied to Jasmine too. He didn't tell him who he was.
He very much had the opportunity to tell her who he was when she figured it out.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I was lying back then. I was doing the same thing you were doing. I wanted to see the people. I'm actually a prince. No, you could have told the truth, my guy. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
But no.
No, I don't think he even told her that he was that same person. He just reached out and wanted to take it. He was trying to make her fall in love with him again. And
yeah, but I'm pretty sure he also said, oh, you caught me. Because she found out, hey.
She asked him about Abu.
That's right.
And he's like, oh, he's fine. Oh, damn. And then he's like, okay, fine, you caught me. I'm actually a prince, though.
Yeah.
I was just faking
doing
it.
the same thing. That's right.
You were back there. You caught me. I'm sorry I lied to you back then. I'm telling you the truth. Now I'm a prince.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely a lie, and that was very manipulative. I thought you were talking about the part where he reaches out and says, "Trust me," and she goes, "Oh shit, this is the same guy."
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that.
And then later on, she's like, "Oh, so how's the boo?" And he's like, "Oh, he's fine." Oh,
I love her. I love her so much. Anyways, yeah, no, I saw him as very Slytherin.
So yeah, no, very much Slytherin. He's a Slytherin who's not, trying to take over the world. He just wants to marry a girl, and he's trying to figure out a way to get around that.
Yeah. You seem to have a different opinion.
His tactics are very Slytherin-esque.
I just remember him going in. He was the diamond in the rough.
Oh, of
he was. I'm trying to remember why he went down into the cave.
Oh,
bitch, I am a diamond.
Because
no one said you weren't a diamond.
Because he's still very much the diamond in the rough. That he's a Slytherin, but he's not selfish.
No. Slytherins aren't selfish. That's not a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
He went down into the cave because Jafar lured him down there. We're gonna get to Jafar.
Oh, of course. But Jafar got him down there to get the lip.
Yes.
By telling him, you're the diamond in the rough. We won't kill you. Just do this for me, and you can have whatever else you want down there. Just bring me.
They escaped the prison together. I know that. Or he's in the prison. He's captured.
He's in the prison. Yep.
And then the old man Jafar, disguised as the old man, gets him out of the prison to go into the Cave of Wonders.
To grab the lamp.
To grab the lamp.
Whatever riches else he wants in there, he just needs to make sure he gives Jafar the lamp.
No, he can't grab whatever else he wants in there. He's not allowed to touch anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Jafar told him to grab whatever you want, but give me the lamp.
No, because he's not allowed to touch anything else. Because that's why, remember, because Abu...
Well, no, because Abu does that. Oh, that's right. So that's right.
That's the rule.
Abu, don't touch anything. That's right.
Yeah, because then Abu touches something and then brings the whole cave down on their head.
Lava!
We're going to get to Abu.
Everything.
We're going to get to Abu.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I can agree. Slytherin.
Okay, Slytherin.
Yep.
Jasmine is a Gryffindor, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I go back and forth. She's like a Gryffindor Ravenclaw mix.
I could see it. She doesn't spend a lot of time studying. She spends more time daydreaming, and she did sneak out of the castle to go be among the commoners without having a backup plan.
I could leave for
and not knowing that you have to pay for things.
That's okay. Never mind. That's a great point. Yeah. She doesn't know how money works. I don't know how barter and trading works. I forgot. I've spent my whole life in the castle. Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, that's fair. Gryffindor.
Gryffindor?
Yeah.
She was easy.
That's
Shut up.
what Aladdin was hoping for.
You guys are horrible. I love it. Genie.
Gryffindor.
I don't know with Genie.
Well, actually, I
feel Hufflepuff.
He could definitely be a Hufflepuff.
I could see Slytherin again because he's manipulated. But
I see all four houses in this guy, and it's really hard.
I love Genie. I think Hufflepuff, though, because he is very loyal, almost to a fault. And part of it is that he has to be. He's a genie.
He has to be.
But even when he is enslaved to Jafar, he's still rooting for Aladdin. Despite the fact that Aladdin said that he wasn't going to free him.
Yeah, he's still Aladdin's friend, and then he gets free, and he still helps Aladdin later on.
Yeah.
But that's not until the TV show. We'll get to that later.
And he's very hardworking. Like we said earlier, which I mistakenly thought was Aladdin. He threw Aladdin a whole fucking parade.
I know.
And he didn't have to do that.
So extra.
He's very extra, and I love it. I think the genie's a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I can get behind it.
Okay.
He's just also very... He tries to be a little, cunning, but he's also very, brash at points.
Oh, he is, 100%.
And I love it, but I can definitely...
That's why
I thought Gryffindor at first.
He's just like an outgoing Hufflepuff, I think.
Yeah, Hufflepuff for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Abu. is a dipshit.
Abu.
Fucking Abu. You know, I loved him as a kid, and like watching it grown up,
It's rough.
it's rough. It's a lot.
It's rough.
What kind of blew my mind is that there's an actual person making all of the Abu noises in the movie.
I know. I love that.
I was like,
That was
what?
great.
These noises are coming out of a person.
You know? Well, BB-1 is the same thing on Star Wars. It's a person.
And the chicken from Moana is Alan Tudyk.
Yes, it is. And I love it.
And I
They
love it.
literally just hired him. That's so funny.
He's
That's still funny to
the
me.
best character in that movie.
That's so hilarious.
Okay.
But
Anyways. Yeah, no. Abu was.
dumb.
Why was Abu able to like talk though?
I mean, he didn't really talk.
He would
Aladdin
say
just
some
understood
words.
him.
A lot of it was gibberish noise, but then he was like saying words.
He
Anyways,
was-
I remember that.
He spoke like almost like a baby when they like can mouth a little bit of what's going on, but it's still gibberish. But Aladdin has known him long enough to understand what's happening.
Maybe
I mean,
that's what it
technically,
was.
he is a monkey. He's a primate.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
there have been primates that learned sign language or
Yeah.
learned some ways to communicate.
Yeah.
I think it's more of Aladdin understanding him.
It was. It's very much. It's like a Han Solo Chewbacca situation where I understand everything you're saying even if you're not talking.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I'm saying that like they have the capacity and the capability to
To learn to
understand
communicate,
language and
for
to
sure.
learn to communicate.
Especially with the people who take care of them.
Exactly. And I think that Aladdin has just been with him long enough and has learned his language
That
almost.
exactly. It's almost exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a Gryffindor. For our little monkey who wants to just take all that jewel, you know, he specifically was told to not do that
Yeah.
and almost gets them killed.
I just remember him pouting because he didn't want to give his bread to the
He
kids.
didn't want to give his bread to the poor little orphan child.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that that's a Gryffindor trait.
Well, that's definitely a Gryffindor trait. Oh my god.
We're so mean to Gryffindors.
Yeah, sorry, Gryffindors.
But they're very much stubborn, they're very much brash.
You know it.
They do.
They have had everything for the past like 20 years.
This is true.
It's their turn.
We might be biased. I don't know.
No, but yeah, he's very much brash. He goes to take the money even when he's been told like this money is going to crash this cave down. And he's
Yeah.
like, ooh, shiny.
Mine. No, yeah. Gryffindor.
Yeah, doesn't think. Sorry, Gryffindor. Carpet is a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Okay.
He has personality. But he
I didn't even know we were doing carpet. It doesn't talk.
Yeah, but he works his ass off and he gestures.
He died.
He
in
died.
This movie.
He
He
did.
got brought back by the genie.
He did. It was sad.
Oh, that's right.
Like he dies to protect Aladdin.
He
Yeah,
does.
that's
He was
very
very
true.
loyal.
All
So
right,
Hufflepuff.
now let's do the lamp.
No. Stop.
But do we at least have? Do we at least have? Oh my god, what's his name? I was about to call him Zazu.
Iago.
Iago, thank you.
Oh, Iago.
Iago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what do you think for Iago?
I'm thinking back everything he did by himself when he wasn't just following orders from Jafar. He's very mouthy. And
Yes.
I like that about him. He talks back to Jafar a lot.
He's very loyal though.
He is very loyal to Jafar, but he's very mouthy. He doesn't like taking crap from anybody, especially the Sultan. When the Sultan's always like, Polly want a cracker, and stuffs it in his face.
Yeah.
He goes back when he has the Sultan enslaved, he's just like, Polly want a cracker, and throws it in the Sultan's face. And it's hilarious.
I do recall him being loyal up until the point that shit hits the fan.
He was.
Jafar is like turning into some evil.
It's when Jafar gets sucked into the lamp. Iago
is that
tries to
what it
fly
was?
away, and
That's
Jafar
right.
grabs
Yeah,
him
he
out
dips
of the air.
out. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's very much Peter Pettigrew.
I'm
I could kind of see it.
I see
gonna
it.
say Slytherin.
I'm gonna say Gryffindor.
I don't think he's cunning enough for
He's
Slytherin.
not smart enough for Slytherin. And he's not really even that manipulative either.
No, he's just kind of there, and he wants like big, powerful friends who are going to protect him. To kind
He's
of
freaking Peter
that's what you
Pettigrew.
mean. Okay.
Yeah.
He's Peter Pettigrew.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And Peter Pettigrew got into Gryffindor, I don't know how. I gotta put my guy in there too. Iago was definitely a Gryffindor.
Well, no, he's still very brash. He's still very,
That's
very like impulsive. He's brave to a point.
Good point.
I think he's just also very self-preservationist, and I think that goes for Pettigrew and for Iago.
Oh, for both. Yeah. Pettigrew's only brave if he has his strong friends behind him.
Exactly,
I-
he's
I
brave to a point because it took bravery to become an animagus. And it took bravery to hang out with a werewolf. I don't think he's not brave. I think he's self-preservationist. I think that he saw the tide turning.
Self-preservation to me is Slytherin. That's what, what's his face? The Slytherin headmaster says.
Yeah, self-preservation is a Slytherin trait, but
And
when you have 4 Gryffindor traits and like 1 Slytherin trait,
That's a good point.
it outweighs.
All right.
Because if Hermione got to be a Gryffindor and not a Ravenclaw,
Yeah.
there's like there's a level here of how many do you have on each side. We got to do the weighing of the scales here.
Yeah.
He has much more Gryffindor than he does.
Yeah. Also, slightly side point because we kind of already have agreed on Gryffindor, but I feel like if you asked Iago, he'd say he was a Gryffindor.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, he would probably say whatever Jafar says he is.
Not if he went. Well, he would go before Jafar. No. Yeah, eyes before Jay.
Oh, it's
Okay,
Iago
well, this is not.
It is Iago with an I. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
About
Sure, okay.
Anyways, Gryffindor.
that. Gryffindor.
Yes.
Okay, Jafar.
Ravenclaw. Put my hot take out there as a Ravenclaw.
It's a good attempt.
That's my hot take on Jafar. But that's only because I'm getting real sick of putting every villain in
I
Slytherin.
know.
We did just put Gaston in Gryffindor.
That's a good point. That's a great point. But we also said that the witch was the bad guy.
We did. Well, no, Gaston is still the bad
No,
guy.
he is. I know. Yeah.
Jafar.
Yeah.
Jafar is very much a Slytherin.
I hate it.
Yeah.
He's
Anything
smart.
that.
Well, he's smart enough though.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. I'd say Slytherin.
No,
Okay.
he has that cunningness.
Sultan.
Muggle.
Definitely a muggle.
Yeah.
He is
Useless.
He does nothing. in
He's
this movie.
just there to be there.
He is literally there so that Jafar can manipulate him.
Yeah.
It's only at the end when he's like, "Wait, I'm the Sultan. I can change the law whenever I want." It took you that long to figure out you can change the law.
Yeah.
My guy.
He's real dumb. He's real dumb. So yeah, Muggle.
Sorry, he does nothing in this movie.
This is true. So we have our first Muggle, yay!
Finally.